We're going to keep taking you further and further with your foundation training. I want you to use this next series of workouts to build layer upon layer upon layer on the exercises you're already learning. You're not using this to make a more intense workout as far as cardiovascular goes. You're using this to get deeper and deeper into every stretch you're learning, stronger in every exercise you're learning, and a better pattern of overall movement using these exercises. Pay attention to every detail of the exercises we're giving you and enjoy the workout. I want you to start in a very narrow-legged founder with the feet close together. We're going to go knees bent, hips back, arms straight back behind you. Pull your hips back a little further. Open up your chest as far as you can here. Big open chest. We're going to go a couple shoulder motions here, just pulling further and further into that founder. Every time you exhale, you're going to pull a bit further. You're not rounding your chest forward at all. You're pulling back, and then every time the thumbs come out to the side, you're opening your chest further and further. Let's go about 5 more of those. Pulling the hips further back each time you do it. Hips go back even more. Let's start pulling into that hamstring stretch just a little bit. Take a big breath in here. As you exhale, I want you to shrug your shoulders down. Lift the arms up as high as you can. Lift all the way up. You can touch the fingertips. You can have the arms free here. Either one is fine. Pull the hips back a little tighter. We're going to go 10 more seconds in this position. Pull a little bit deeper into that lower back tension. Pull the hips back further and try to lengthen the legs just a bit more. Lift the arms about 2 more inches. Take a forceful deep breath in, all the way in. And as you forcefully exhale, you're going to step all the way down, stretch all the way down to the ground. Knees stay bent, weight stays back on the heels. Take another deep breath down in this position. From here, I actually want you to bend your knees a little bit further. With your weight on your heels, you're now going to pull your hips further back behind you. Even further back than you are right there. Press through your heels and try to lengthen the legs just a little bit, getting deeper into that hamstring stretch. You can see where Brian is here. You can actually lift the front of your feet up and press them up and down into dorsiflexion if you'd like to, or you can just keep the toes down on the ground, pull the hips high, and try to keep that tremble happening at your hamstrings for as long as you're able to. Let's go about 5 more seconds here, pulling even deeper into that stretch. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, you're going to bend your knees further. Press your hands into your shins. Shoulder blades pull together, head lifts, lower back is braced. Once that lower back is strong, you're going to push the arms straight back behind you. Big deep breath in. And Maria, I actually want you to push your knees a little further back, chest a little higher. Perfect, right there. Really strong position here. Again, this is to reinforce proper position. Let's bring those arms right back up again into the same position. Arms lift up, hips pull back, the legs are tight. This time I want you to squeeze the legs towards each other. You're not squeezing the knees together like this. You're pulling the heels towards each other as if you're compressing a spring between the back of the legs. Hold that position for about 5 more seconds. Big deep breath in. Very slowly this time, push the hips back and begin stretching all the way back down to the ground, right back into that hamstring stretch. Take a big breath. Breathing is important here. It's going to help you get deeper into every stretch. Walk the hands forward about 3 or 4 inches. I want you to press into the inside arches of your feet. You're pressing the inside arches down into the ground, stretching a little bit harder, pulling the hips back a bit further. I want you to hold that for 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Roll to the outside of the arches. You're going to pull the hips back even further now on the outside of those arches, stretching along the outside of the legs. Take a big deep breath in. And once again, perfect position coming up. The hands go to the shins. As you exhale, you're going to brace the spine, pull the shoulder blades together. Once you find that spine tension, push the arms straight back behind you. Take a big breath here. One more time, I want you to shrug your shoulders straight up this time. Shrugging up as high as you can into the neck, keeping that tension, lift the arms straight up over your head. All the way up, up, up. Bring the fingertips together. We're going to go 5 seconds as hard as you can here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and stand all the way up and relax. Take a few steps, shake your arms out a little bit, and then we'll keep rolling. From here, let's step forward with your right foot. The first of these lunge series, you can have a pretty short stance. You don't have to push too far into it. We're going to get continuously longer in every lunge series we do. First one, slight bend in that right knee. Push the arms straight back behind you. You're going to pull your body back into extension just a little bit. Side stretch. So again, you're always side stretching away from that back leg. Come back to the center. Push your chest all the way forward into a hinge, isolating that right butt muscle. Shoulders pull back. Take a big deep breath in. As you exhale, lift those arms straight up, keeping your spine tight, keeping your back tight, looking for that isolated pressure at the lower back, glute, and hamstring on that right leg. All of your weight is on that right heel. Push the arms straight back behind you again. Pull yourself back into extension. Lift the arms back up in the air. You're going to reach as high as you can with the fingertips touching. Slowly side bend towards the right. You're going to reach up as high as possible, pull your chest back. We're looking for a long stretch along this whole left side here. Take a big breath in this position. As you exhale, you're going to bend that right knee just a little further forward. We're talking inches here, just a little bit further. Pull your chest back and reach the arms up higher. We're going to go 10 more seconds in this lunge stretch, isolating a lot of that stretch into that left side. Big deep breath into the belly. As you exhale, slowly come back to the center. Let your arms drop. Stand all the way up. Shake it off a bit. We're going to do another founder before we do the other side. So I want you to step with your feet about hip width apart this time. Knees bent, hips back, your weight's back on your heels. Pull the weight back as far as you can. Open up the chest, and let's go about 3 or 4 slow little corkscrews there to open the chest a bit further. Thumbs come out to the side. Every time the thumbs come out to the side, we're going longer length right across the clavicle there. On that last one, pull the shoulders way back, pull them down, lift the arms all the way up. You're going to hold this position just 10 seconds. We're looking for a very, very isolated pressure right into the lower spine here. Once you have that locked in, let's try to take the arms up another 2 or 3 inches and hold that. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stand all the way up. Shake it off a little bit. And let's step forward with your left foot. So same thing here. Feet are in the same direction. Slight bend in that left knee. Pull the shoulders straight back behind you. You're going to pull yourself back into extension. Once you're in extension, side bend towards the left just a little bit. Take a big deep breath in. As you exhale, come back to the center. Keeping that extension, keeping the arms back, you're going to hinge forward, building that pressure into the left butt muscle, left hamstring. Pull the shoulders back a little tighter, lift the arms just a little higher behind you. Looking for all that pressure right along this whole side of that left leg. Big breath here. As you exhale, bring the arms straight up in front of you. Lift up, build that pressure all the way into the lower back, tight, right into that left glute, tight as you can. Big deep breath in. As you exhale, drop the arms back behind you, pull back into extension. Pull straight back as far as you can. Open up that right side, lift the arms straight up in the air. Reach up as high as you can, take a big breath here. Slowly side bend towards the left. Looking for that whole right side to open up as much as possible here. Let's go big deep breath all the way into the belly, all the way out. As you exhale, come back to the center, drop the arms, stand all the way up. We're going to go right into a wide leg founder. Keep rolling. Perfect. Knees bent, hips back. Every founder starts the same way. The weight's on the heels, the hips are pulling back, your lower back is braced. Open up just a little bit more. Let's bring the hands out into external rotation again. This time, instead of lifting the arms straight up, you're going to reach forward, hinging the hips back as the arms reach forward as far as they can, as if you're trying to find something that's just a little out of reach in front of you. In order for the hands to pull further forward, you have to pull the hips further back. Big time stretch at the hamstrings here and perhaps even up into the adductor muscles on the inside of the legs. I want you to lift the arms from this position without the chest coming up at all for 10 seconds. This should be a very difficult position. Take a deep breath in here. As you exhale, you're going to slowly stretch all the way back down to the ground, keeping the knees bent, keeping the weight back on your heels. Walk your hands forward about 6 inches or so. Pull the hips back. Brian, your hands are good there. Pull back a little further at the hips though. There you go. I want you to lengthen the legs as far as you can in this position. Once you got that leg length going, once you have a little shake going in the hamstrings, we're going to slowly roll those heels in and out, side to side. So the whole foot is going side of the arch, side of the arch. Back and forth. If you're doing that properly, the whole stretch in the hamstring is going to shift every time that ankle changes. Take a big breath in that position. Go through 3 or 4 more of those rolls. I want you to press right up onto your fingertips. Keeping the right arm down right where it is. You're going to pull your hips back a little further. Bring that left arm all the way up in a rotation. You're going to hang out here for just about 10 seconds. Lift the arm a little higher. Open up a bit more. Pull the hips back a little tighter. Slowly come back down to the ground. Once both hands are back down on the ground, you're going to square back up. The knees are bent. The hips are pulling back. Hands are even going to reach forward a little further. Press right back up to the fingertips. In this position, the left arm comes down, the right arm comes all the way up. Pull the hips back just a little further. Bend your knees just a little more. Good. Open up as high as you can. Big breath in this position. As you exhale, come right back down. What I want you to do now is actually walk yourself all the way forward to a plank position, bringing the feet together. Nice strong position here. The legs are together, the chest is high, the chin's not looking up or falling down. Take a deep breath here and just hang out for this position for about 10 seconds. Tighten up the abdomen, squeeze the legs together just a little bit. Keep your whole body rigid and strong. On the next exhalation, I want you to slowly bring yourself all the way down to the ground. Take about 5 seconds, lowering your whole body down to the ground. Once you're down on the ground, you're just going to relax for about 5 seconds. All right, take a deep breath here. You're going to bend the elbows, pull them right back against your body. We're going to go right into some back extensions. The knees are squeezing together, but the toes are not coming up off the ground. Just a light pressure between the feet and the knees here to increase that stability at the lower legs. The elbows are pulled back, the hands are off the ground. We're going to go 10, 3 seconds up, 3 seconds down back extensions. So go ahead and lift up, 3, 2, 1. Same thing down, 3, 2, 1. Let's go through 9 more of those. 3 seconds up, 3 seconds down. Always paying attention to the stability you have going on at the lower back, making sure the feet are not coming up off the ground. Your body is moving as a slow, fluid, powerful movement. So keep on going back. Let's check back in. The knees are squeezing together just a little bit. The feet are on the ground. The elbows are pulling back and the shoulder blades are always squeezing down and together. The chin is back, but not hyperextended. It's also not looking down like this. The whole upper body is moving as one strong unit. After you've done 10, I want you to press right back up into a plank. So slow, powerful movement up. Stay nice and stable. I actually want you to walk your hands out in front of you, about 6 inches to a foot. Tighten up the abdomen like you're about to get punched in the stomach. Really brace it. Pull the shoulder blades together just a little bit to extend your body a bit more. Press the heels way back behind you. And Marie, try to drop those hips just a few inches. Right there. Stay strong. Keep your head up. Stay tight here. This shouldn't be easy. You got 5 more seconds to get through here. 4, 3, 2, walk the hands directly under your shoulders. Another negative push-up here, slowly lowering your entire body down to the ground for 5 full seconds, all the way down. For this one, we're going to stick with just a basic extension here. This time your legs are going to separate about a foot or 2. So the elbows are pulling back, the hands are up off the ground, the toes stay on the ground. Legs are a bit wider, you're going to slowly pull yourself up, and this time we're just going to pull up and hold. Squeeze here, pull the elbows just a little bit tighter. Take a big deep breath. I want you to take 5 full seconds from here, lowering yourself back down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pull the legs together. Squeeze the knees together. I want you to bend your legs so the feet come up off the ground just about 6 inches. It's about a 45-degree angle at the knees. Pull the elbows tight, lift the upper body up off the ground. Squeeze the knees as tight as you can until they start to tremble. Really push right in here. This is the most important part of the exercise. Chest comes up even higher. We're gonna go 10 seconds as tight as you can here. Really squeeze. The legs should be trembling. The elbow should be pulling back hard. Shouldn't be easy. Squeeze the knees even tighter. Take 5 full seconds lowering the upper body down, keeping that knee squeeze. 4, 3, 2, 1. I want you to turn over to your back. We're gonna take a little break here and go through an easier stretch. So you're rolling over to your back, we're gonna go right into a crossover stretch. Open up the front of that body just a little bit more, facilitate the rest of the workout we're gonna be doing. So both knees are bent. What I don't want you to do is have the knees bent so far that the heels are actually almost against the butt. Feet are gonna be out just a little bit longer. Bring them out just a little further, Brian. Right there. Good, Anne-Marie, you too, a little further. Right there. Bring the feet together. You're gonna cross the right leg over the left, keeping the knees close together. Take a deep breath in. Using the right leg as a lever, you're gonna pull down to the right side of the body, lengthening the whole left side there. Take your left arm, reach it all the way up behind you. You're looking for a stretch right along this line here. Some people get it more here, some people get it more here, some people get it more here. As long as it's somewhere on that left side, we're happy. Take a big breath in here. As you exhale, I want you to bring that left arm straight up towards the ceiling. Using the lower abs on that left side, you're gonna crunch up as high as you can until you find a little tremble at that lower abdomen. We're gonna stay in that tight, shaky tremble for about 10 to 15 seconds. Reach straight up, 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 always trying to go just a little higher. Take a forceful, controlled deep breath in. As you slowly exhale, you're gonna bring the whole left side of the body down to the ground. Reach all the way back. Keep that knee pulling down to the ground. You're gonna be able to pull slightly further into that left-sided stretch. Take your right hand, put it right on top of your belly button. Every time you inhale, I want you to feel that stomach rise. Every time you exhale, you should feel your stomach fall. We're gonna go 3 forceful, long, deep breaths here. So force the air all the way in, feeling that stomach rise, and then all the way out, feeling it fall. You're still in the stretch, the left side is still opening, that left arm is still reaching all the way back behind you. Good. One more breath all the way in. As you exhale, slowly untangle yourself out of this. We're gonna add just a little stability bridge into this in between the next side of the crossover. Bring your feet just a little further out in front of you. A little further, keep going, right there. You're gonna press your heels into the ground, lift the toes up off the ground until you feel the shin muscles kick on a little bit. Once you have that stability going in the shin muscles, you're gonna press the heels harder into the ground, press the hands into the ground, and push the hips up in the air. You're gonna squeeze your knees together nice and tight. Keep that pressure, make sure the toes are staying up off the ground. I want you to lift the arms straight up over your chest, and keeping a little bit of tension between your fingertips, stretch the arms all the way back behind you, not letting them separate and not letting them bend too far as they reach back. Your hips are high, your knees are squeezing. Most importantly, your toes are up off the ground. Take 2 big deep breaths in this position. Squeeze the knees just a little bit tighter. Slowly come on back down. Bring both arms down by your hips. Good. All right, we're gonna go ahead and switch legs for the crossover. So let's take the left leg, bring it right over the right. Knees are close together. Slowly stretch down to the left side, taking that left leg, pulling the right leg with it. You're gonna feel that stretch go right into the right side of the hip here. Right arm reaches all the way up in the air. You're gonna reach it all the way back behind you. We're looking for a big stretch along the abdomen here, along the side of the obliques, into the hip, into the butt muscle, and often into the IT band as well. Reach that arm way back behind you. On the next exhalation, I want you to bring that right arm straight up towards the sky. Crunch up as high as you can using those right lower abs. Reach up, 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 up. You're looking for a little tremble right in that right lower abdomen. I want you to hold that for about 10 more seconds. Controlled, powerful breathing. Breathe all the way in. Then slowly breathe that air out. And as you're breathing out, you're going to bring that arm all the way back behind you, back into that stretch. The right arm reaches out, straight back behind you. You're looking for an even longer stretch along that whole right side of the body. Take 2 big deep breaths in this position. If you want, you can do that same thing with the breathing. You can bring that left hand right on top of your belly button. And it's not passive, easy breathing. You're forcing the air in, forcing the air out, feeling the stomach change height every time you take a breath. One more big breath all the way in. And then all the way out. Slowly untangle yourself out of there. Let's go one more of those bridges, this time with the legs even further out in front of you. Nearly straight. Pull the toes up off the ground. Brian here is about as far as I would like you to go in this position. Anne-Marie is probably in a more realistic position for you. Either way, the toes are still lifting up. The knees are squeezing together. Tighten up, pull the toes a little harder, press the hands into the ground, push the hips straight up in the air. Squeeze the knees tight. Once you feel stable here, or somewhat close to stable here, lift the arms straight up over your chest. Keeping that tension, keeping the fingertips pushing together. Stretch all the way back behind you without the arms bending too far and without the hands separating. Good. Squeeze the knees as tight as you can. Let's get into a shaky position here for 10 seconds. Squeeze the knees, press the heels, lift the hips. Try to shake for another 5, 4, 3, 2. Slowly come all the way down. Turn right back over to your stomach. Take a couple deep breaths here. As you turn around, let your body lengthen a little bit, let it relax. And if at any point this is getting too hard, I would much rather you do this right than try to push through everything we're doing. Hit pause, stop it for a second, go walk around, shake it off. Make sure you're able to continuously maintain proper posture, proper movement, and strength. From this position, we're going to go one more set of back extensions. This time the knees are close together, squeezing the knees. You're going to bend those feet just a little bit up off the ground. Keep the knees on the ground, bring the toes up off the ground, squeeze as tight as you can at the knee joints. Pull the elbows back so the chest is wide open. We're going to go 5, very slow. 5 seconds up, 5 seconds down, squeezing the knees tighter on each one. The whole movement originates right here, squeezing the knees, pulling the elbows, lifting the upper body, over and over. On the way down is often more important than on the way up. So on the way down, you're really using these muscles to slow your upper body down as you're going towards the floor. Take a couple deep breaths once you're done with those 5. And go ahead and stand all the way up. Walk around a little bit, shake it off, take a few deep breaths, grab some water if you need to. We're gonna keep rolling now. We're gonna keep going through this. All right, when you're ready, step with the legs wide. We're gonna start pushing just a little deeper into every movement. Sometimes the subtle changes we make in a movement are some of the most intense changes you can possibly do. It's pretty incredible what a subtle shift in an angle will do for a body weight exercise if you do it properly. So let's turn the feet in slightly. Let's bend the knees, pull your hips straight back behind you, reach the arms forward in front of you. The lower back is braced, the chest is high. Pull the hips back as tight as you can. Press the fingertips together pretty tight without the wrists pressing together. Pull the hips back as far as you can. I want you to try to reach all the way to my hand by pulling your hips back. Watch how as he pulls his hips back, his hands push forward. You're gonna hold that position. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stretch all the way down, knees stay bent, weight stays back on your heels. Let's walk the hands forward just a few more inches, pull the hips back a little tighter, and actually let your feet angle out to the side a little further. So push the toes out to the side a little more. You're gonna go a bit more duck-footed here. Knees bent, hips back, weight back. You're getting a big stretch into the hamstrings, also a big stretch into the adductors. Constantly pulling those hips further away from the fingertips. From here, you're gonna press up to the fingers. Pull the hips back and actually bend your knees just a little bit more. From there, you're gonna keep the right arm down, left arm up. You're gonna go right into that windmill. Open up as far as you can. We're gonna take that left arm back down to the ground and rotate 10 times with that left arm. Up and down, 10 full times. 2 or 3 seconds up, 2 or 3 seconds down. You're constantly reinforcing the proper motion here. You're not letting your weight come forward on your toes. You're not letting the knees straighten. You're constantly pulling the hips back away from you with the weight on your heels. Keep on going through these. Every time you do it, check in. The weight's on the heels, the hips are back, the knees are back. You're pressing up on that bottom arm, the chest is staying high. We're gonna go ahead and switch hands after those 10. So both arms down, pull the hips back, and then we'll take the left arm down and the right arm up as high as it'll go. 10 full rotations here. Every time you rotate that right arm up, that upper inner left leg is gonna stretch. On the other side, it should have been the opposite leg, the right leg stretching. So let's keep on squeezing into those. Pull, 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 further back. Keep on sitting back even more. There you go. You want your hips to be way behind your heels when you're doing this. Keep on sitting way back behind you. After you've done 10 of these, we're gonna increase it just a little bit. Once you finish both sides of the windmill, you're gonna slowly bring those feet just a little bit closer together. Just 3-4 inches tops, just a bit more stability there. The weight stays back on the heels, the knees are bent. You're gonna walk your hands back to your shins. From this position, let's pull the shoulder blades together. You're coming up just like a regular founder. The back is tight, really tight here. I want you to reach the arms forward as far as you can. Fingertips touching. You're gonna start bending your knees as far as possible into a deep squat. You're not letting the knees come forward. You're keeping your weight back on your heels. You're pulling your butt back as the knees bend. You're gonna start squeezing the legs together as tight as you can and then lift the arms as high as you can without your chest coming up any higher. This is a very difficult position. We're going 10 more seconds here. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Push the arms back, stand all the way up, take a few deep breaths. Big deep breaths here. This is a nice little time for a couple minutes rest. This next sequence is gonna really reinforce the squat, good morning, and woodpecker patterns. We're gonna get a lot of glute burning and hamstring connection in here. Try to stay with it, do as much as you can. You'll get stronger and stronger every time you do this. I want you to start with your feet about shoulder width apart. Knees bent, hips back, chest high. We're going right into that strong founder position. Weights back on your heels, lower back is braced strong, probably pretty tired at this point. You're gonna bend the elbows, bring the arms against the shoulders, shoulder blades pull back, chest is high. Without the knees moving at all, the hinge point only being right here at the hip joint, you're gonna go 10 really strong good mornings, pulling the hips back, using that glute and hamstring to propel the entire body on each one. So 2 or 3 seconds down, 2 or 3 seconds up, going deeper on each one, not letting that back bend. Really focus on that. Much rather you go short, small distance with proper form than trying to go a lot further, letting everything fall out of place here. So pull back, good, very tight. Once you've done 10 good mornings, we're gonna go right into 10 squats. Same stance, chest stays high. This time, instead of hinging at the hips, you're pushing the arms forward, squatting down with the weight on the heels. So So let's go 10, 2 or 3 seconds down, 2 or 3 seconds up. Again, just like Peter says, don't airdrop here. You're constantly under resistance, using the muscles to slowly bring yourself down, slowly bring yourself back up. The whole time here. Knees stay back, weight stays back. Pretend my hand is right in front of your knee, not letting it come forward as you bend down. Keep on pushing. Every time you press up, it's through the heels. Every time you come down, it's through the heels. Nice strong movement. Once you've done 10 squats, stand up, shake it off for just a second. But you're gonna go right into a right-legged woodpecker. Right leg forward, left leg back. And I want you to step a little further than that first lunge series we did. A little bit of a longer stance here. All right, take a big breath in. We're gonna start this exercise with that left heel pushing back behind you. You're gonna bend the right knee just a little bit more, not letting it come forward of the ankle, just a slight bend. Chest is high, arms are straight back behind you. You're gonna hinge forward as far as you can. Push forward, not letting that right knee slide forward, increasing the tension into that glute on the right leg. Now you're gonna press all the way up on the toes of the left foot. As you press forward, you're gonna push that weight harder into the right heel, not letting the knee come forward, accentuating even more pressure into that glute. Bring the elbows across your chest, shoulder blades pull back, and just like in the good morning, the entire upper body moves as one unit. All of the movement happens right here at the hip. Chest comes forward and back. We're gonna go 10 slow hinges here in this woodpecker stance. All of the pressure here is on that right glute, right lower back, and right hamstring. Good. Very, very good. You're pressing through the heel on every one, not letting that knee come forward as the chest comes forward. Keep on pushing through it. Keep your chest high, keep the shoulder blades pulled together. The whole body is tight here. On that 10th one, I want you to stay forward. Hinge as far as you can. Push the arms straight forward. Fingertips touch. Without the chest coming up at all, let's lift those arms as high as they can go. 10 seconds here. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Let the arms drop. Stand all the way up. Let's go right into that left leg. So find your balance here. Nice long stance. Take a deep breath. Get yourself ready. Good. Open up the shoulders. Pull the elbows back behind you. Hands go straight back. Pressing that right heel behind you first. Weight's on the left heel. You're going to press your chest forward as far as you can without the left knee coming forward. Shoulder blades are pulled together. Take a big breath in. Let's press all the way up on the toes of that back foot, shifting that weight even harder into the left heel. Bend the elbows, pull the shoulder blades back. We're going to go 10 slow hinges here. Only movement point is right here at the left hip joint. Good. As you press down, the glute and hamstring are tightening. You're using that contraction to pull right back up. Shoulder blades tight, lower back is rigid and strong. Very good. Keep on pushing through it. Slow it down just a little bit. There you go. Shoulder blades are pulling the whole time. Check back in periodically here. Make sure that you're up in extension and not slowly going further and forward. Bring those arms straight forward. Pull the hips back as far as you can. Get really tight into that glute and hamstring. This should be a very hard position. Chest stays low as the arms come up. You're going to be shaking here for 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let the arms go straight back behind you. Stand up. 2 big deep breaths here. Shake everything off. Relax. Move the knees around a little bit. Shake things off a little. Yeah. Use the brakes. Definitely use the brakes. Let's go right back into that shoulder width stance. We got another series to go through here. Try to go maybe 6 inches wider than you were before. Knees are bent, hips are back, arms are straight back behind you. Good. Let's go right into a really strong hinge. Anne-Marie, bend your knees just a little bit more and then pull the hips back so that the knees come back. Right there. Perfect. Elbows are bent, shoulders are pulled back. We're going right into some good mornings here. So this time we're going to go 15 good mornings. The first 5 are slow. The next 10 are increasingly fast, increasingly more powerful, always focusing on this strength here. It's staying tight, it's staying strong. All of the movement is right here at the butt muscles and hamstrings. Keep on pushing a little bit harder here, a little bit more intense. You're pulling further back and you're using more of that posterior chain to propel your entire body forward and up as you're doing it. The knees are not coming forward at all as you're doing this exercise. Everything happens at the hip joints. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, let's go right into 15 squats. Same thing here. First 5 are slow, second 10 are really pushing. Harder, harder, harder. Pay attention to what's going on here. The knees are not coming forward. The hips are pulling back. Your chest is high. Always thinking about me having my hand right in front of your knees there as they're coming forward. Touches my hand, you're doing it wrong. Chest high, hips back. Keep on pushing. Let's go a little harder here. Little deeper, little stronger. Chest is staying higher. you're just pushing that little extra bit here, a little harder. Reach a little bit further. Keep on pushing through this. After you've done 15, you can stand up and just take a few steps and relax. Good work. She beat you. Shake it off a little bit, relax. Once again, we're stepping forward, this time with the left foot first. Try to go even longer on that stance, even longer. So you should have a built-in stretch on that right hip flexor if you're in this right. Press that right heel back, bring that left knee forward. We're gonna go a little further forward on the left knee this time, so it's almost directly over the heel, right there, perfect. Chest is high, arms are straight back behind you. This time we're gonna push those arms straight forward. The spine is very tight, the knee is pushed back just enough to be really locked into this glute and hamstring. Push your chest and arms forward just a little further until you really can't go any further because that glute is just not able to support anymore. Slowly rotate towards the left. Lift the arms about 6 inches. You're going to hold right there. Everything on the left side of your body is going to be locked for the next 15 seconds as the toes of that right foot press your heel up and down slowly 5 times. Slow, powerful movement. Nothing else is changing. You're just pushing that weight further forward to be supported by that glute of the left leg a little bit harder. Your chest is high, your arms are tight. The left side of your body is pretty fried right now. Keep pushing through this. After you've done 5, press that heel back. Use the left glute to slowly rotate back to the center. Let your arms drop. Stand all the way up. Let's go right into that right leg forward. Again, long stance. Chest is high. You're bending that right knee straight over the ankle, not further than the ankle. The pressure's on the right heel. That right glute and hamstring are working hard to support you. Chest comes forward. Very good. Let's build tight into that right glute and hamstring. The lower back is really important here. Make sure the lower back is staying rigid. As you get more fatigued, you're going to want to come out of that. Fight it hard. Shoulders back, push the arms straight out in front of you. Fingertips are touching. Very, very good. Let's rotate slowly out towards the right. Perfect. Chest stays high, lift them up about 6 inches there. Hold that. Keep on squeezing. Big deep breath. Left leg is going to push you up and down slowly 5 times. The only part of the body moving is that left ankle, nothing else. If you can't do this without feeling comfortable that you can just move that ankle, skip it, just stay rigid in the exercise. After you've done 5 of those, use that right glute to push you right back to the center. Let the arms push back behind you. Stand all the way up. Take a couple deep breaths. This is a good time to take a couple minutes rest. To start this next series, let's get you started with a very narrow founder. Feet are going to come all the way together, heels touching, toes touching, chest high. Let's bend those knees and pull right back into a founder here. Pretty gentle. Knees bent. Squeeze the knees together a little bit, actually wrapping the knees towards each other. So you pull the front of the legs towards each other just a little bit. Push the hips back further. You're going to shrug your shoulders up as high as you can. Pull the chin back just a little bit. Slowly lift those arms straight up in front of you. As the arms come up, you're going to pull the hips back away from the fingertips as far as you can, getting really tight into those hamstrings. I want you to squeeze the legs together as tight as you can. Both the knees and the back of the legs are squeezing together. Trying to really push in there until you start to tremble a little bit. Keeping that leg tension, let's pull the hips back just a little bit further. From this position, I want you to separate your fingertips. You're going to turn your palms up and lift as high as you can without the chest coming up any higher. This should be a pretty difficult position. Lift all the way up, really tight here, keeping the chest wide open. We're going to go 10 more seconds in this position. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Push the arms straight back behind you. Let's go ahead and bend the knees about 2 more inches. Right there. Take a deep breath in. Slowly pull the hips back, reach the arms forward again all the way out in front of you. Fingertips touching. You're going to reach the chest down and forward as far as you can. The arms are going to lift. You're going to squeeze the legs together. This time you're going to go thumbs down as far as possible, arms up as high as you can. Chin stays tucked. A lot of you are going to want to let your head drop here. Don't let that happen. Keep that chin back, keep your back tight. Lift up as high as you can. Really big extension to that lower spine. 5 more seconds here. 4, 3, 2, 1. Push the arms straight back behind you. Gotcha. Hips go back, chest stays high, knees are bent, weights on the heels. Stay right back in that founder position. I know the lower back is tight, but keep going here. Bend the knees just a little bit more. Sit all the way back on the heels, bring those arms straight forward. As the arms reach forward, you're going to start slowly pushing the knees back to stretch harder into the hamstrings, sticking your butt back behind you as far as you can. Push even further. There you go. Lift the arms up as high as you can. Big deep breath. The arms are separated. The thumbs are going straight up in the air as high as possible. And I want you to look your head up just a little bit. 5, 4, 3, 2. Now you can stretch all the way down to the ground. Once you're down to the ground here, use this as a little bit of a break. The knees are bent, the weight's back. You can put a little bit of extra weight into the fingertips just to let your upper body relax a little. Let your hamstrings and glutes relax a little bit too. Big breath in. One more big breath all the way in. As you exhale, let's go ahead and put the hands into the shins. The weight stays back on your heels. Brace that lower spine tight, pull the shoulder blades together. Lift up as high as you can, up, 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 up. Extend a little bit more, Anne-Marie, right there. Push the arms straight back behind you. Shrug the shoulders up, and as you do that, bring those thumbs way out into external rotation. Squeeze the shoulders all the way up. Lift the arms all the way up. One more time, stretch all the way down to the ground. Pulling hard into those hamstrings. Hips stay back, weight stays back. 2 deep breaths at the bottom here. Breathe all the way in. Lengthen the hamstrings just a little bit more. One more time, keep that weight back. Breathe all the way into the stomach. As you exhale, the knees are bent. Hands press right back into the shins. We'll come right back out of there. Shoulder blades squeeze together. Brace your spine. Chest up high. Push the arms straight back behind you. Big deep breath in. You can keep the arms back and stand all the way up. Shake it off, take a couple deep breaths. Move around a little bit. Let's go right into a basic lunge stretch here. Just a very typical lunge stretch. Left leg forward, right leg back. Nice long stance. We're going to take about 30 seconds in a lunge stretch. Chest is back, big open shoulders. Lift the arms straight up in the air. Fingertips touch. Just lift as high as you can. Pull straight back behind you. Slowly side bend towards the left. Open up that right side as much as possible. Reach up as high as you can. We're going to go 3 long, deep breaths all the way into the stomach, all the way out of the stomach. About 5 seconds in, 5 seconds out. Pull just a little bit harder. Keep the hips square. Keep the weight back, pressing that right heel way back behind you, lifting that right arm as high as you can, as much length as you can along that whole right side. On this next exhalation, slowly come back to the center. Let your arms drop. Take a big breath here. As you exhale, stand all the way up. And let's step forward with that right foot. So same thing here. The chest is high, the shoulders are back. Nice long stance. All we're doing is opening up this left side as much as we can. The arms are lifting up, pressing that left heel back behind you. Pull back into extension. Side stretch towards the right. Perfect. Good. Open up as high as you can. Big time stretch from the rib cage down to the hip on that left side. You're pressing that left heel back behind you the whole time. Every time you inhale and exhale, the stomach is going to push out on the inhale, pull in on the exhale. Let's go 2 more of those. 5 seconds in, 5 seconds out. Reaching up as high as you can the whole time. Slowly come back to the center, let the arms drop, stand all the way up. We're going to go 1 more set of squats here. The feet are going to be about shoulder width apart, maybe just a little bit wider. We're going to go 10 squats. We're going to do them slow. In fact, every squat is going to be slower than the one before it. Starting with 2 seconds down, 2 seconds up, and I'll talk you through this one as we go. So the hips are going to bend, butt sticking out behind you, and for 2 seconds you're going to come down, and then press right back up. Then a little bit longer on this one, 3 seconds down. A little slower. Back up. This time 4 seconds down. A little bit slower. Right back up. Increasing it 1 second on every one here. A little bit slower. You should be going a little bit slower than you think you should. Keep on pushing. Again, my hand is in front of your knee. You can't push my hand away from it. Good. Let's go really long on these. We're going to go about 7 or 8 seconds down. Hold for about a second at the bottom. Slowly press up. We're going to go 2 more of these. 8 seconds down. Good. Let's hold for about 5 seconds here at the bottom. 3, 2, 1. Press up. Last one. I know you're tired. 10 seconds down. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold right here. Squeeze the knees together. Lift the arms up for 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Stand all the way up. Shake it off a little bit. We're going to go as wide as you can. Wide as the legs can go into a windmill stretch. You're going to let the feet angle out just a little bit. Chest is high, hips are back. Pull the hips straight back behind you. The arms are going right back into a founder. Knees bent, hips back, weight back. Very good. You're going to push those arms forward, fingertips touch. Hips are going to pull straight back away from you. Push the arms forward as far as you can, hips back as far as you can. Take 2 deep breaths in this position. On that second exhalation, you can come all the way down. All the way down. The knees stay bent, the weight stays on the heels, your hips are pulling straight back behind you. Let's take that right arm, keep it right under you. Left arm comes all the way up. We're going to rotate into a big windmill as far as you can. Pull the hips back behind you as far as possible, keeping the arm as open as possible and the chest as wide open as possible. All you're going to do is 10 times roll the arches in and out slowly, increasing the stretch at the adductor and hamstrings. Right now, that right upper inner leg should be really, really stretching here. Pull the hips back further behind you. Make sure your weight is back behind your heels. After you've done about 10 of those little ankle rolls, you're going to come back to the center, let the arms come down, bend both knees just a little bit further. Pull your hips straight back behind you. Let's go ahead and switch sides. The left arm stays down, the right arm opens up, the hips pull straight back behind you. Once you feel that left upper inner thigh start to stretch, you're going to begin rolling those ankles slowly, 10 times in and out. You're not going like this. It's not a fast roll. Slowly in, slowly out, controlling and feeling every movement. You want to feel a shift in the tension in the hamstrings and the adductor muscles as you're doing that ankle roll. Keep the weight back, sitting back behind the heels the whole time. And once you've done about 10 of those, bring that arm all the way down. Bring the feet quite a bit closer together. And I want you to walk yourself all the way out into a plank. You're going to hold this plank position for about 10 seconds. Brace the abs, squeeze the legs just a little bit. Chest is high, head is high. 2 deep breaths. Slowly push your weight all the way forward on your toes. Pull the hips up just a little bit higher, using the lower abdomen to pull the hips up. Walk the hands forward in front of you if you're able to. If not, just stay in this position. Once the hands are forward, I want you to walk them out to the side about 6 more inches as well. You're then going to push the hips and heels straight back behind you, letting the hips drop just a little bit as the heels press back. You're going to get a lot of tension pulling from the fingers into the chest and abdomen and from the hips into the abdomen. Hold this position for 5 more seconds. 3, 2, 1. Walk the hands back under your shoulders. Take 5 full seconds, bringing your whole body down to the ground in a negative push-up. Whole body stays rigid, slowly lowering down to the ground. Once you're down on the ground, take a couple deep breaths. Just let your body relax for a few seconds. Breathe. Let everything go. Think about how good your form was on everything you've done to this point. I want you to bring your feet about 2 feet apart. The toes are going to stay on the ground. The elbows are going to pull back against your body. We're going to go 10 back extensions, but the first one is going to be a 10-second hold. So squeeze the elbows, keep the toes down, lift the chest up. Find that 10th spot and hold for 10 full seconds. I want you to be able to take a full deep breath in and out with your spine extended here. After you exhale, we'll go into 9 more slow, fluid movements, about 2 seconds down, 2 seconds up, keeping the toes down, using a very strong, stable lower back to lift the upper body. Keep on going. You don't want to pull into hyperextension here. You just want to have a nice, strong, fluid movement. The most important part is the first 6 inches up and the last 6 inches down. Everything in between is somewhat frivolous. Once you've done 10 of these, you're going to bring the feet together. Perfect. Squeeze the knees tight. You're going to bend the feet up off the ground about 6 inches. Squeeze the knees as tight as you can. Take a deep breath. Get your head around what you're about to do. You're going to push pretty hard for the next minute or so. Squeeze the knees as tight as possible. Chest comes up, hands come up off the ground. Squeeze the knees even harder. Brian, lift up a little higher. Keep going, right there. Squeeze as tight as you can at the shoulder blades. Squeeze the knees as hard as possible, bringing both arms straight out in front of you with the fingertips touching. You're going to hold this position, squeezing the knees as hard as you can. They're going to want to separate. Don't let them. 5 more seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Pull the elbows back. Feet come down. 10 more extensions, up and down, 10 times, 2 seconds apiece. 2 seconds up, 2 seconds down, 10 times. Keep on pushing. The toes are staying down. The legs are more or less together. Hands are staying up off the ground, and the shoulder blades are staying pulled back and together. After you've done 10, you're going to bend the knees again, squeeze the knees together. Bring your feet down just a little bit further, right there. Bring your feet up just a little bit higher, Emery, right there. Squeeze the knees as tight as possible here. The elbows are back, the chest is gonna lift as high as you can. I want the legs shaking here. Squeeze the knees as hard as you can until you just get that tremble, almost an uncontrollable tremble between the legs there. Squeeze as tight as possible, elbows back, chest comes up. You're gonna bring the right arm straight forward with the palm up. Lift as high as you can. You got 10 seconds to get through here. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, pull the elbows back, squeeze the knees even tighter, pull the toes way back towards the shins, left arm goes forward, palm goes up, lift as high as you can, keep it up, you got 5 more seconds, 4, 3, 2, both elbows come back, relax all the way down, good. Take a nice deep breath here. Should be pretty tired at this point. When you're ready, press all the way back up to a plank. We're gonna keep going. We're almost done with this. Keep rolling through it. Press all the way up into a high push-up. I want you to bring the feet about 1.5 feet, 2 feet apart. You're gonna bring the hands another foot wider as well. Then, just to make it fun, walk the hands forward another 6 inches. From this position, using the lower abdomen, you're gonna pull the hips up as high as you can. Press the heels back as far as you can. You're gonna hang on to this for at least 15 seconds. Stay tight. The lower abs are tight, so hips a little lower, right there. Good, hold that. Head stays high, chest stays high. You're pulling the hands towards each other, you're pulling the feet towards each other, and you're using the abdomen as the center of this spider web, pulling everything together from every angle. One big deep breath, tightening everything up as you exhale. Slowly walk the hands back under your shoulders. Take a deep breath in here. As you exhale, come all the way down to the ground. Once you're down on the ground, go ahead and relax. I want you to take 2 deep breaths, and then after that second exhalation, go ahead and stand all the way up. You've made it this far. Keep going. All right. Last thing we're going to do here. Feet are going to be shoulder width apart, knees bent. Your weight's going to be back. This is how I ended most of the classes I taught the first year or so that I was teaching this. It was really fun to watch people's faces as we got into this. Bend the knees, pull your hips back, your weight's back on your heels. Your chest is high, your shoulders are wide open, pulling right into a pretty normal founder position here. Hips pull back, we're looking for tension at the glutes, tension at the lower back. Big breath all the way in. As you exhale, all you're going to do is take 10 full seconds, lifting the shoulders and arms as high as you can. 10 seconds, 9, 8, 7, 6. You want to feel that tension increasing as the shoulders especially lift above the head. You want to feel a lot of tension right into the lower spine here. Big deep breath in. 5 seconds, bringing the arms straight back behind you. 4, 3, 2, 1. Bend the knees just a little bit more. Pull the hips further back behind the heels. Chest comes down just a little bit. Slightly more extension to the lower spine. 10 seconds, lifting those arms straight up again. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Turn both palms up. Lift 2 inches higher. Squeeze as hard as you can. 4, 3, 2, 1. Push the arms straight back behind you. We got one more here. Chest comes forward, hips go back. This time you're going to squeeze the legs together as tight as you can. The knees are not pushing towards each other. You're squeezing the back of the legs together hard. Take a big breath in. This time we're going 20 full seconds lifting those arms up. Isolate the pressure at your lower spine. You are able to do this. 20, 19, 18, 17, 16. Keep on lifting at this pace. Keep going. Tighten up your spine. Pull the hips further back behind you. Make sure all of the pressure is in the lower back, glute, and hamstrings here. You got 5 more seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly push those arms straight back behind you. Your chest stays high. Press through your heels. Stand all the way up. That was a good workout. You guys did really well with that. Keep practicing. Get better and better and better every time you do this. You can't do this enough. It's how your body is designed to move.